Hello, hello everyone. Welcome to another day here at my Artful Adventures. I'm Christy, and today we're going to make some more ticket-like ephemera. So we made some of this the other day, and you can see what we did here was that we took a strip of paper and we put some washi tape over it before we did anything else to it. And so I think and then cut a strip, I believe. And then we used this pad, and this ruler, this Tim Holtz ruler, has these little holes along it. And so we used that here on the sides here, or between the tickets, to kind of give it a perforated look. So how fun is that? It's always a lot of fun to make, but here's the thing. No matter what you're making when you're doing arts and crafts, there is always some other way that we can do it, right? There are ways that you can, excuse me, whether it's poking some holes in there or just all kinds of things, there could be more than one way to do it. And that is something that really is a lot of fun. When you come on, say hello so I know you're here. And if you're watching a replay, just put hashtag replay, and that way I know that you have stopped by. Hey Susan, good morning. How are you? And so today, this is streaming on Facebook and onto YouTube. And it's just going to be a short video, you guys. This isn't in any kind of event. I don't have any set time I have to fill today. And so that's what we are, up to today. And I'm glad that you're here with me. And we're going to make some more ticket-like ephemera. And we're going to do it a little bit different. So let's get going. Hey, Martha, how are you? Okay, so like I said, we used some strips and put washi tape on it last time. We did a little bit of line work. I told you that this is one of my favorite kinds of pins. It's this Uniball Vision, and it's a fine point, and it's waterproof and fade proof. So if you give it just a couple of minutes to dry, you are not going to have any problems with it, I don't think. So I love to use that. Okay, let's get these things out of the way, and we're going to do something a little bit different today. Actually, let me just put my whole trim and scoreboard here out of the way for a minute, because what I want to do is I want to take just a piece of paper. We're going to make this a couple of ways. So for one, I just want to just kind of take some of these that are just kind of line work. And I think flowers, you can put words, whatever you want to use. And so we're going to stamp some of these on. And, I think what I will do, well, first of all, these were new stamps, or they'd never been used. They're not new by any means, but I have never used them. Let me kind of take some. If you just kind of press them on your skin, a lot of times that kind of takes some of that residue off from manufacturing. Okay. And I'm going to just put some on my block here, and I'm just going to put them every which way, because it doesn't matter. Our little tags are going to be different, and we're just going to put them all on here. Maybe we'll put some words on here as well. And I got to make sure it doesn't get in the way. I don't even know what these words say, but that's not the point. We just want to have some text on here, right? And this is going to be way too wide for what I'm doing, but I don't care. And some of these, we can kind of bend it a little bit so that it kind of fits where we're trying to get that in there. And let's try to get this in here and some more words. And I think that's going to be plenty. And then we will and they don't have to be straight. Okay, so we've got that. And remember, if you're using these kinds of stamps that don't have any cushioning, it's best to put something under so that you get a good impression. And you know what? I'm not even worried. Even if these don't stamp perfect this first time that I use them, I'm not going to worry about it. Actually, I might stamp some off to the side. Well, I got plenty of room on my big piece of paper, so we'll be good. We can just stamp wherever we want to, right? So this is just, I'm just going to put some black ink on here. And I'm just going to take my ink to the stamps for this time. Trying to make sure I can get them up. Now this one I can see is up too high. Let me kind of tuck him in there. Let's see if I can move that leaf over. There. Because we do want it to be flat on our stamping block. Okay, so we're just going to do that. And I would want my... Look, I've made a mess already. And that's okay. I don't really care. Now these are called rock blocks. And look, that didn't get on. Okay, let's do some more. And it's really not going to matter because we're going to just stamp some, we're going to cut some strips out of this. So let's just do that. Now we're going to do this. And so I wanted to show you, you can just make your own papers here. And then cut a strip out. Oh, I got that kind of messed up. But you know, it doesn't have to be perfect. That is not what we're going for right here. We are just trying to get some images down here on our paper. And that's it. And it might even, maybe we'll just stamp over the top of what we already did. That's kind of messy, but you know, that's okay. I'm just going to stamp more down here. Kind of a second stamp, so it's kind of lighter. And yes, that looks like a mess. And I know it. So now let's take these and let's cut. Let's pull out the board again. So we're just going to cut a strip off here. I'm just going to cut down. I don't really have a rhyme or reason for where I'm cutting this part. Oh, look, I might even have another inch over there. And this time, oh, you guys, I need to wipe this off my fingers. I've made a mess. And like I said, you guys, you can just do whatever you want to with these. Hey, Martha, you did some outlining as well. You forgot, yeah, so many markers. Hi, Kathy and Molly. Oh, Molly, wait. You can't see people's comments? I can see you. I can see your comment. Hi, Angela, Susan. You could do that, Martha. You could do whatever you want to. In fact, I think while I've got this damp, I'm going to go ahead and wipe over this and get some of the ink off. Since I've made such a mess, they'll just be a little bit easier to clean off. And I'm not going to use these again. Well, I might. We might just use those same ones. Okay, so now we're going to cut an inch strip. Now these are going to be a totally different size than the ones that we did the other day. Let me flip it around here. And it's not so much, I mean, if you wanted to have images that are exactly of what you want, you could do that. Me, I just wanted some images, a little bit of text. I mean, you can see, well, you can kind of get the idea of what some of it says. You could tell that was friends. Here's friendship, part of friendship. But it really doesn't matter, you guys. So now I'm going to score this every 2 inches. If I can find my score. Oh, there it is. I'm like, where is my score tool? Okay. So we're just going to do it every 2 inches. And since this is a 12-inch piece, we're going to be able to get 6 little ticket type things out of here. So just every 2 inches. So now we, whoops, bumped it off there. Okay, and then we just take our ticket punch, our hole punch, and this is just a regular, you know, paper punch, and we're just going to snip half holes at these score lines, just all the way up and down. And you know, I'm just using this black and white. You can do whatever colors that you want. whatever might go. If you wanted to make this for a particular project, make something that is coordinating. But I just wanted to do this. Oh, that side didn't. I got this one way off, which can happen. Anytime you're making something handmade, it can go not exactly straight or anything else, right? And then I'm going to put quarter punches there because that would be what that would amount to at those ends. Okay, now to look at that. That's kind of fun. I kind of like that. What do you think of that? I mean, totally different than the things we did the other day. Now, let's move this out of the way and let me show you what I'm going to do this time. So this time for my perforations, I still, you know what, you guys, I've got this came with something that I got a long time ago, a little pack that was from Stampin' Up. And this little foam pad is really basically the consistency of what a lot of mouse pads are. And so you can, you know, just get a big mouse pad if you want to. Or, you know, they make that foamy stuff that you can get at the craft store. But this time, look what I decided to use this time, you guys. You think, yeah, I wonder if you been like this on your phone. Have you turned your phone off and on, Molly? I know that's always a goofy question, but you know, sometimes it helps. I've had really goofy problems that I would turn my phone off and on. Oh, and Angela can't see comments either. Well, you know what, you guys? The reason I'm seeing your comments is because I'm on my computer. That's very odd. Hey, Margaret. That's goofy. Hi, Deborah. What kind of board am I using? Are you talking about the scoreboard, Angela? If you're talking about the scoreboard, this is from We Are Memory Keepers, and I think it's called, oh, I think it has a name right here. Nope, that says flip it over. Oh, here it is. Trim and Scoreboard. The Trim and Score Board from We Are Memory Keepers. Okay, so yeah, who knows? So this is actually a thing for sewing, and it's for tracing. And so for paper patterns, you would put the paper pattern down. You would have a little bit of a I'll just call it like carbon paper, and you would take your pattern, and let's say this is our pattern with, you know, with lines on it that we need to mark, and we would put it like this, and then it just puts little dotted lines on fabric so that, you know, like, oh, back when I saw darts were especially something that you had to mark so you knew where those were. So that's what this is just a little tracing tool, a little tracing wheel thing. And so I'm just going to run this across here. And you guys, it actually almost, you had to be careful though. If it was any closer together, it would be a problem. And so just run that across through the center. If you wanted to, you maybe could, I don't know, it's kind of starting to bend now. You could put your ruler along here. Let's try this. Let me see. I haven't tried it just on my mat here. Let's try it. Oops, I want to put the one side of this is kind of thicker than the other. There's a tiny little metal strip that goes in here. And this one kind of, here, I'll show you. This side is, see, that side is thicker and it tapers down on this other side. So I'm going to put the thicker side right here and just kind of do that. No, that does not have enough. That won't do anything just on my mat. Let me try and see if this has enough just on here to give it a little squish. Yeah, that will. It doesn't go in as deep as on the little foam mat. So I think I would prefer to do it here on the little foam mat. Then you just like run it over there, and then you've got your little perforations, and so you've got, you know, totally different looking tickets to make for some kind of ephemera. Okay, so now the other thing that I wanted to show you was we get these things all the time in the mail for mailers that are basically ads, right? And it is a nice weight of paper. It is kind of like a thin cardstock, right? And I bet you all get stuff like this. So, you know, it comes in various things. I have an entire pile of this stuff that I saved to use for different things. And so when I got ready to show you something like this, I start pulling those things out and I'm like, oh my gosh, I am not showing these things because so many of them, I cannot even imagine the budget that some of our politicians have, the money they have spent on mailing, because this is the kind of stuff, the size and, you know, what they're sending out, and it is just unbelievable. And then, you know, it tells all their virtues or, you know, what's wrong with the other person. So I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm going to leave those behind. Now, this kind of stuff, it's often coated with something kind of slick. Now, you could either put on a coat of, you know, you could spray something over it. You could spray workable fixative over it, and it would give it a little bit more tooth to use. You could put some clear gesso over and let that dry, and that would give you a surface that you could use to stamp or whatever you want to do, right? Let's see. Is that a sewing pattern tool? Yes. Yes, Angela. It's like the little tracing wheel. And I finally dug mine out. I wanted to use that last week and I forgot to go dig it out. So I finally found it. And okay, so the other thing that you can use and just make it a one-step thing is use some Stays-On ink. Stays-On ink is going to be able to just stamp right on here, okay? So when you just stamp it on, you're not going to have any trouble. You'll want to give it a minute to dry. So I'm going to go ahead and I love this because I thought I could, you know, cut through here and it would be this pretty color in here. I think this thing got damp. I think we've had some rain, and I think that it must have been out in the mailbox on kind of a rainy day. So let me see. Where's some other stamps I had? What did I do with them? Oh, here they are. They're right up here. Now, some stamps are completely, you know, dark, and maybe that's what you want to use. I thought this would be fun to just kind of pull this little texture stamp out. Anything that is going to add texture would be fun to use. And some of these, now this one even has a little bit of text on that flower. Let's just try some different things. So I kind of wish I would have gotten out a smaller stamping block. I do have a smaller one over here somewhere. There it is. But you guys, excuse me, these Rock-A-Blocks are made, they are made from, they're by Crafter's Companion. And they've got this little lip right here on both sides, and they are curved. And so what they're meant to do is start at one edge and then just rock it around like that. And so for people that have like arthritis or, you know, it's just hard to do something like that, it makes it really easy. I'm just going to put this on here. Okay. And let's just stamp some of this on. We'll just stamp some on here. And it doesn't really matter. That thing is like so... Oh, and look, I didn't even follow my own directions to you. I forgot to put my little foamy pad down underneath. But you know, when you've got something that has a lot of... if you've got a lot of words already or something, you know, you can just stamp very little. You don't have to stamp at all, you guys. If you have something that is kind of cool and you just want to, now the problem with this is, and then you can still see a face kind of back behind there. The problem with this thing is these square edges, you guys. Now, the way that you can get by with dealing with that is if you just put ink on part of it, and then you're not going to have those square edges. Well, that had ink left over, so yeah. Okay, so you just kind of ink some of that up like that, and let's try. Oh, that flower's kind of big. We're going to cover up a whole bunch of this by doing this, I think. But that's okay. Let's see. Okay, so again, I'm just going to kind of stamp it off on my hand. And put some ink on here. And you know, even if you don't get ink all the way on the whole thing, it's still going to give it a cool look. See, it's just a little, like a hint of a flower. And that's the kind of thing I kind of like. I don't need it to look like, you know, I don't need the whole thing. Maybe we'll just, we'll put it lighter over here. I don't even get that one flower. And that's okay. Let's just, well, let's do another one right over in here because there's not much of anything over here. So let's try that. But the stays on, you guys, the stays on will be perfect. It's going to stick on here. You don't even have to worry about it. Okay, so we've got some images on here. And stays on will stick to about anything. I used it one time and put it around the edge of, you know how you have the metal boxes, like a cookie tin or something. I had something like that I redid, and I used stays on and just basically did it all around the outer edge. Okay, but you have to remember, stays on can stay on. So if you don't want it on something, be careful. All right. So let's just cut a strip off of here. We're just going to cut it down through where we've been stamping. You know, no, not yet. No, 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 no. That is still wet, you guys. So you do want to give that a minute to dry. Let's go ahead and let's work on our other piece here instead. So we've got this here. And we could, let's see what's on the back of it. This has some print on the back, which, you know, we could do it this way. If you wanted to do strips where you had a little bit of words that you could read, you could do it that way. Let me just cut off a strip like that. And let's see. Let's just, how wide is that? 11. I didn't realize those things were this long. Oops. So there's part of one. You could use this. That'd be fun. And you guys, I'm holding this over here. It's got my address on it. So this way you've got some text and some interesting things on here without doing anything. So that's kind of cool. Let's see what else we've got there on the other one I cut off. So you could just use these. Whoops, I'm gonna put that away. I still need that. Yes, you can. Thanks for sprinkling. Hey Donna, Debbie. Yeah, you go ahead and go find your junk mail, those big pieces. And, you know, those are always great to use in junk journaling. They give you a great big piece of paper. So then at 2 inches and 2 inches, you guys, this is a perfect one. This is like 6 inches wide too. So that's perfect. And then we're just gonna, you know, go ahead and trim our little pieces. And so, you know, you've got something different. You've got a little bit of text. You've got a little bit of interest. You've still got room if you wanted to go ahead and put any kind of stamps on there. And like I did the other day, you could put a little bit of washi tape on if you wanted to. But look, that's kind of cool for a ticket, right? And then look at the back. Got this cool little hello. Here's their little logo from that school. This is kind of cool. So you don't know what you're going to get. And I think this is the way that I would probably do these, is to cut them in strips, you know, maybe more like this than long ways, maybe. But the other way, you're going to have 6 inches. So that's, or the other way is 11 inches. So you'd still have to, if you want even numbers, or, you know, you could even kind of score it with part of it hanging off on both sides. Like about 1/2 inch on both sides. If you were to use the whole section, that'd work too. Then you'd have a little bit, you know, like a half ticket on each end. So you could do that. That would be kind of fun. And then just our quarter snips on the edges, like that. And then again, you know what, I wonder if I put this in here, I wonder if I could line this up and run this through the tracks. Hey, yeah, that worked good. So you just line it up and run your wheelie thing through there. And then you've got your little perforations for your tickets. I like that. So just find a line and line it up. This way you don't even have to get another piece of something. So there, we got that. Let's try that and do it. Let's see if this is dry. That still is not dry, you guys. And I don't think I have my dryer out here. Let's just go ahead and cut it anyway. Well, you got to turn it the right direction to get it back in its groove. Get it back in the groove. Okay, so. Oh, it's not down. Like, why won't that go in there? So I'm just going to put it down here to where we've got all of what we've stamped. And then flip it around here. We're just going to do 1 inch again. And I'm going to measure and see if this is the same 11 inches. Let's see. Maybe that's a whole standard thing they do. Yep, 11 inches. So this time, let's do this. Let's start our first one at 1/2 inch. So we'll still, you know, put that there, and we're going to get this out, and we're going to do 1/2 inch. So 1/2 inch, and then we'll do 2 1/2 and 4 1/2, 6 1/2. Still, we're going to make them at 2 inches, and 8 1/2 and 10 1/2. So now we've got our little tickets. Let's just go ahead and, you know, it's easier if I do the little holes first. I can see where I need to run my little tracing wheel over to make our little perforations. But like I said, you know, there's always a way that you can do something. So if you want to use like a little pointy paper piercer and make your little holes that way, you can do that. So many ways. So many things in paper crafting. There's just not, you know, you're going to see people do things different ways, right? Which makes it kind of fun. Okay, so now, so doing it this way, We do not want to do the little quarter snip here because, you know, that wouldn't be that way. That would be part of a ticket. So let's go ahead and line these up. So that way we've got like a partial ticket on the back. Sometimes, man, some of this is kind of dark and hard to see. And then just line it up. And like I said, you could also use your spongy thing underneath to get your, make your little perforations. Okay, so look how different that is. What do we get on the other side? We got some text on the other side. And so this is totally different where you can read across here as opposed to the ones where we cut it the opposite direction and we just have little snippets of words. I almost would rather have little snippets of words because then it's just interesting. You're not like really trying to read it. Like this one, it's about pool season. Why they sent me this, I don't know. Oh, I do know. For some reason, the information on our house, like on Zillow, used to say something about that we had a pool. We're just like, we don't have a pool. No, we don't. Okay. Our neighbors did, and they just filled it in. It had been broken. And I asked them one time, I go, how long have you guys lived here? So they told me, and they hadn't lived here that much longer than we had. And their pool had been broken from the time they moved in. I'm like, well, that's not a good, not a good selling point or buying point, right? You guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Hi, Christy. How are you doing? So this was kind of fun. I hope that you got an idea of something you could do with some of that junk mail and make something fun, or use it, you know, use the full sheet and use it for something when you're junk journaling. Or anyway, it's a good piece of paper to just throw in the trash, right? You guys, thank you for joining me, and I will be back tomorrow again. Let me see real quick what time I'll be on tomorrow. I forgot. I think, let me see. Hang on one second. Tomorrow I'll be on at 1 o'clock. No, 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock tomorrow, you guys. No, well, that's Central. 3 o'clock Eastern tomorrow, you guys. And I may have put that wrong somewhere. I wrote it down. Maybe I won't be on at that time. I'll have to check what I sent out in the newsletter. And the newsletter, you can sign up for the newsletter and get free printables every week or some kind of a digital gift. And that link is up there in the description. So you guys, thank you so much, and I will talk to you later. I just have to find out where to turn this off now. I can do it. Bye, everybody. Thank you.